Meth Gators, drunk bears, and a herd of cocaine hippos. No, that's not your local karaoke bar or a rejected sci-fi script. It's real life. Wildlife biologist and adventurer Forrest Galante is exposing a bizarre way that humans' vices are wreaking havoc on the animal kingdom. In his new Discovery Channel series, Animals on Drugs, he digs into how these creatures got hooked, what it means for their ecosystems, and hopefully they could go into rehab. So Forrest joins us now. How can you help? Welcome to the show, Forrest. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm really well, Dan. Thanks for having me. Heck of an intro.
All right. Well, when people hear animals on drugs, they think it's a joke, and yeah, I made a few jokes out of that. But this is actually a very real and serious problem. What inspired you to tackle this story?
Yeah, great question. It is loud, it is salacious, but it is also a very timely and real problem. You know, the inspiration came from me actually having a run-in my own neighborhood where a bear would repeatedly break into my trash and recycling, and one time came in and clearly showed a preference for alcohol. This set me on a whole path of research that ended up me discovering that human substances are having these negative consequences on animals and their ecosystems the world over, whether that's the illicit drug trade of cocaine with Pablo Escobar bringing hippos in that are literally killing people and destroying habitat, or meth and ED drugs and things like that getting flushed down toilets in Florida that are leading to quite literal meth gators. It's having really large negative side effects on the animals. And my entire goal in life is to mitigate human-wildlife conflict. And this is a really large conflict that is, for the most part, going unspoken.
So you're saying some of these animals are actually seeking out the drugs and vices for themselves?
The only ones that we encountered that were generally seeking it out, and if you think about it, they have an instinctual drive to do so, were the bears. Now, with the advent of all of these new really sugary alcoholic drinks, whether that's alcoholic kombucha or ciders, or the White Claws and seltzers of the world, those animals are hardwired to seek sugar to put on weight, those animals being bears, during the spring and summer to get ready for the winter. So they are genuinely going for alcohol. In the case of cocaine hippos, they're just a side effect of the cocaine industry. And when it comes to meth gators, they are really bioaccumulating methamphetamines from the waterways into the smaller fish, into the larger fish, that by the time they get into the alligators are having really high potency effects. So it's very case by case basis. For the most part, they're not seeking it out, but they are being exposed to it with or without their own choice.
Beyond the stories, what's the bigger message here? What do you think viewers can walk away with, like understanding the relationship between humans and wildlife?
The biggest message here, Dan, is that everything's connected, and everything we do, whether that's, literally taking Viagra to have a good night and then peeing in the toilet, which ends up in our waterways, which ends up literally stopping reproduction in certain animals. It's all connected. The ecosystem, the planet is all connected one way or another. And understanding that if we make better choices and are a little bit more responsible in how we discard things and how we manage getting rid of our own vices, then we can have a healthier planet, a better ecosystem if we just make those choices, because it does affect creatures that don't have a say in it.
All right, you're also part of Alien Sharks Death Down Under. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, again, it's a loud, salacious, silly title, but it's a really cool show and tell of sharks that don't get the spotlight very frequently. In that show, I believe we have 17 different species of elasmobranch. We look at some of the only venomous sharks in the world and even test the potency of that venom on the human system, which hasn't been tested before. So it's a really cool show. If you missed it on Discovery Channel, you can catch up on Discovery Plus or HBO Max. We've got other Shark Weeks, Animals on Drugs, anything to do with conservation and wildlife. I'm all about it, and I'm trying to put it out there for people to love.
Venomous sharks. Animals on drugs. You have a very interesting career following all this stuff, man.
I do indeed. I'm very lucky. I get to follow my passion every day, which is to communicate wildlife conservation and science. And I just am so glad to hear when people fall in love with animals because of it.
Check out Animals on Drugs, Monday, July 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on Discovery Channel. And keep an eye out for Forrest and Alien Sharks Death Down Under and Florida's Death Beach, both airing during Shark Week. For more info, visit discovery.com or follow them on social media at Discovery. Hey, Forrest, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.